So there's an anime, Reincarnated as a Slime. I actually just got the manga for it from the library, and it's one of my favorites in terms of slice of life and the Isekai genre. I actually don't tend to give a lot of compliments to this kind of genre, mostly because it doesn't need them. I really like it the way it is, but I don't say a lot of good things about it because, again, it can have issues if it's not interesting enough. And yet, at the same time, one of my issues with things that are entertaining is that I don't necessarily always want something to be entertaining. I want it to deliver on what I want to do, which sometimes doesn't even amount to anything in the first place. I like a lot of boring stuff. And with being carded as a slime, it didn't have to do much in the first place. It didn't have to do a lot. All it had to do was introduce me to an isekai genre that actually happened to be a little boring, which I liked a lot. And I like entertainment that's boring because it gives me a chance to pace it better and not always be consumed by explosions from Michael Bay. That's just how I am. But with reincarnated as a slime, there is a spiritual theme to it. The way that this tempura guy is reincarnated as a slime is very spiritual themed, in my opinion. He gets spawned in some of the most luckiest spots. He gets all these abilities very gradually. He always has a chance to do better with what he has, instead of being soft locked and cucked all the time, like you would think for anyone else who gets spawned. He's very fortunate in that regard. And the thing with that is that I think in real life it's like that. You always have fortunate blessings wherever you go. You just have to know how to look for them. If you get reincarnated and you actually have, because in this day and age, people who talk about reincarnation as a spiritual theme and rather not so much an anime fantasy, they look to get frowned upon. It's like, no, there's spiritual truths to reincarnation. It's like the blessings that come with it is very interesting. There's what was it called again? Idol, the Idol anime, where the Ai Hoshino character who gives birth to two reincarnators, Ruby and Aqua, and they are actually reincarnated from the same world and back into those lives. They give them the fortunate chance to become popular stars in that world after they had already lived their lives close to death in their own ways. There's a lot of fortunate blessing to that. There's a lot of what you could say is like, oh, they're given the chance to relive their lives in the same world. Whereas with Slime, at least he relives his life in a way that gradually gives him a chance to survive and even thrive in a world like that. The isekais I've seen so far, even Konosuba, where he gets to relive a life with good friends and company and makes his way through the world in a comedic and whippy way, but still gets to make it work. That is a very realistic theme. It means that these people can work their lives work for them and not the other way around. They can actually be competent in the roles that they were given. It's it's very realistic. I think people don't misunderstand that a lot. They think that when you're given a second chance, you should only use it sparingly. It doesn't have to be like that. You can be carefree, you can be majestic, but you have to make sure you know that it doesn't have to be out of mercy or pity. It doesn't have to be like that. There's blessings everywhere, and the more you know how to find them, the better off you are able to be, and know that everything is truly on your side. Even when getting a second chance like that, as scary as it looks, as if you have to be merciful about it and have to be grateful about it, and overkill grateful. It doesn't have to be like that. You're given that chance on a whim, seemingly, but it is a chance that you can actually make the most of. So, reincarnation as a theme is very beautiful. Not just in anime, but in real life, it seems that people who have had near-death experiences, for example, they have this aspect of reincarnation that works for them. They got to relive their lives in spirit and in person, and they got to find out for themselves what they actually want in their own lives. That's beautiful. No one has to see like that, but they got to have that for themselves. And it's not that you can't be a good person with when you don't have NDE. I wouldn't want wish NDE on the worst kind of person. I would want someone to experience NDE to figure out for themselves if they want to just still be able to live their lives, but not as a threat, not never as a threat. It's there's something about that. It's like being able to relive your life and not have regrets about it. There's something about nostalgia I want to get into actually as well, so I can extend the length of this video. I never made longer videos before. It sucks. I'm trying to get into that because I keep making shorter videos. I don't know what to talk about, and I always get anxious about making videos these days. It gets hard to make videos, and I don't know why. I don't know what to talk about. But there's a nostalgia I was feeling lately, where being in the public library for this manga, for example, getting this manga and this herb book. There's a herb book in here too. I got it as well, and it's I'm getting to that. I might be a herbalist over time, but who knows? But there was actually a so I felt a certain amount of degree of nostalgia in the library because I was around a social environment that felt like, oh, this is how life is supposed to be. You just feel good because you're positive and joyous expansion. And I always repeat the affirmation anyways. I repeat the affirmation of joyous expansion, positive alignment, all their good stuff, because I know that I can manifest it like that. And I'm a little cheesy with it. I'm straight up law of attraction guru stuff. I'm into it, but I do follow through the astrology of my chart, and I'm also good about making sure that I know that I'm transmuting shadow work and not just spiritual bypassing anything. That sounds like a lot of buzzword stuff that you might not have to hear about yet, but it's what I work with. So, but I've been feeling a lot of nostalgia with the library because it made me feel like I've missed out on a part of my childhood. I grew up too fast. I grew up way too in a spot of being too early into my own life. I never got to really and if this gets into weird zones of thought, like there's the thing with the transgender community where I felt like that before, where I wondered what it would like to be a woman or a girl, but that's because my feminine side is a Piscean. I'm not saying that to be a dumbass. I mean it. It's like I don't need to get into like why I would have felt better anyways like that. As long as it was a certain feeling, I have to be attached to it. You're not your thoughts, right? So that's the end of that part. Because I don't want to have to say like, oh, I really wish I was a woman. Well, if I want to be transgender anyways, it could be like that, but not in this lifetime. I'm not even being denial, cracking the egg or some bullshit like that. But but there's a nostalgia. Like I grew up way too fast. I didn't have to have a certain kind of childhood. Now I'm not ungrateful for my childhood, but there's something missing with it. Like there should have been a certain aspect of fun and peace and calm that I could have had and then succeed academically and career-wise. It wouldn't have to be like, oh, you have to already be succeeding anyways, whether you got to have fun or not. That's too shallow and sharp. It really is. You don't have to be like that. It couldn't have been far from the truth. It's just like, I could have found a better way to just live my life, but I couldn't. And I'm not saying that to be regress and be like, oh, well, then find out anyways, or it's too late, move on. No. The shadow work has taught me something about that. There is a part of me that's still in the past that doesn't want to move on. And I don't know how to address it. But noticing the feeling makes it transmute into better energy and transmutes the pain and suffering into something more meaningful. That's all I can do so far for now, is notice how I feel and transmute the suffering into something positive. And when I'm going through it, I'm like, oh, I can't manage this any differently. I can't just be like, well, now I know what's going on, why can't I do something about it? Because I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to make a claymation about my shadow work all the time just because I have the tools. I have the tools now, but I don't have what to transmute about. Creative means would be a good way to transmute my absentee, like-minded self and addictions to things that feel intense and to transmute my emotional capacity through suffering and creativity, which I would be a good thing already. But it's not that I want to do any better. But I'm panning for time so bad here. I'm panning for time. I'm telling you now. I wanted to make a longer video. I didn't know how to. I miss making longer videos, dude. I don't know why I don't talk that much anymore. I make videos like this before, like in 2023 and earlier, and then I don't anymore, and it's sobering, because I used to like. There were even times I would look directly at the webcam, and I don't. I don't usually, but I could, and I have to change. I could train it with a DSLR, but not if I don't have one though. So just like 10 minutes, thank gosh. But yeah, the nostalgia of my past, the reincarnation of spiritual themes. What else we got? Huh. I could talk about my feelings about anime and video games. I've been trying to get into watching more One Piece. I slowed down watching One Piece a lot. I don't know why. I used to watch like 5 episodes a day on my now missing laptop and missing in action when I lost in the trip that I ran away from uh, with. And it's like, oh, well, now I have to watch One Piece on my computer on the TV. And it's like, okay, on my phone. I used to watch that a lot. I don't know why I lost my interest in One Piece. I lost my interest in a lot of anime. Once I finished Spy Time's Family Season 3, it got a little harder to watch anime. I can easily watch on my computer, at least compared to the cartoons like regular show, The Lost Tapes, which I have to watch on Watch Cartoon Online. And that gets buggy as hell with the ad block and all that. But, you know, I can't even, don't even get you started on the video games. I can't play on my computer anymore. Most of them won't run in the first place. The ones I could run had updated Windows 11 supposedly. So it got harder to play those as well. And then it was just a big bug over that. But, you know. So, padding for time, the insanity of immobility. I miss those things, man. I used to make videos about that stuff. I used to make videos about ideas for random titles that don't make sense, that don't attract audiences, and they were still about good claymations. Like, that was about Psychonauts, by the way. But these were about, I was gonna sculpt like a Doctor Doom, the Doctor Vic Von Doom from Avengers Doomsday, because that's what Arush Shaw mentioned that before about making a Doomsday themed claymation. I could actually go for it, but I'm too anxious and out of whack about making creative stuff. I'm very stressed about it. I want to make it, but I don't want to force myself to do it. So it's just very weird. Very weird energy. It's similar to my social habits, like where I love people, I'm afraid of them. It's kind of parallel to that a little bit for some reason. But I'll make the Doctor Doom if I'm ready. If I'm not, I don't want to force myself because then it's going to be too painful. It'll burn me out faster than if I actually made the condition I wanted to, and then there'll be a little extra leisure to pursue. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to procrastinate. It makes me feel better if I can do it right, and I will. So other claymation I can make right now is maybe one about maybe a return to Hat in Time to make Bow Kid, a bow tie kid, or no, yeah, bow tie kid, and then no, Bow Kid, it's just Bow Kid, because bow in the head, but a Bow Kid, Hat in Time claymation, or claymation where I re-sculpt a Hat Kid, and then just another claymation about maybe Rose and Maiden. I was thinking about the Rose and Maiden one a lot, and Rose and Maiden, Hat in Time, Avengers Doomsday. I can make a claymation about One Piece, which I mentioned it before, because I already made the 2D animation about One Piece with Luffy in it. I was going to make Chopper in the claymation, because that's easier to sculpt, or Zorro or Chopper, whichever one comes first. Because I make a full bond model of Zorro, and then sculpt his swords into thin wire armatures, and then all that. So that'd be fun. We have everything. We got like the copper wire, 18 gauge, and that's not ammunition for a gun. I'm talking about like copper wire. Get it right. But and then it's copper wire, clay, a base clay for the white clay, and then multicolored clays. They're all heavy amounts of them, pretty good. And then a bunch of tools from the bag for like sculpting. Pretty nice. I could show you another video. I just don't want to right now. I'm just vlogging up the top of my head right now. To make content for the title in the description. I wonder what the thumbnail's gonna be. I really wonder. I have a few images I could work with. I could end it off here pretty soon, or talk a little longer. I'm thinking. Because usually, and I mean usually, I would have made videos much longer than like 15 minutes. It would have been about 7 to 12 minutes if it was a brief one, and it usually wouldn't be shorter than that. Now it's like I struggle to get past 4 minutes to about 8, or it's like 4 to 6 minutes, and then it stops all of a sudden, and that's the video for the week. And I'm like, why do I do that? Why can't I just brainstorm naturally like I did before? Why am I so depressed? It's just like, I can't do that to myself anymore. And then I still keep doing it. I can't brainstorm. I get that depressed. It's weird. The struggles of an animator. It's starving artist issues. Damn. Padding for time. Padding for time. Okay. I'll leave you off soon. I'm just trying to, make my time count a little more. How have you guys been? Seeing me like once or twice a week isn't that much of a big deal, but I wanted it to be a little more than that. I want to make like 3 videos a week so I can kind of feel the grind. But yeah. One more thing, if I do go, it's a last day of May. I really hope I get to go to my high school reunion. I have that this year. This coming summer, I have to really make sure I get the letter to get invited, because I should just let it go and just see if it comes anyways. But I've been trying on my own part a little bit to struggle to see if I get the invite, and I should just let it go. Like, I should just be like, you know what? If I don't get invited to my own reunion, so be it. But it's been a long 10 years. It makes a lot of sense for me to go at least this my first reunion, because I really like the people I was with while I was graduating, even if it was a year later than necessary. Because being a truant didn't make that much of a difference, but it was me graduating with people I cared about. So I wish I could have gotten that through. I love the people I was with also in college, but I couldn't handle them. Not most of them, at least. It was people, and this comes hand in hand again with the nostalgia. I have this strong nostalgia for the past, online, in person, you name it. The people I was with, the things I got to experience. I have a strong feeling and connection and pulsation for that. And I cannot stress out enough how awkward and sorrowful it is to feel that way when I'm living a life that I'm more free than I've ever been. I'm more free than I've ever been in my life. I don't have a job, which should be a blessing for now. But I can't stand it. And it drives me nuts. And it's like, why am I like this? Why can't I just be happy? But we all incarnate in this world. We get the lives we have. We all have our own struggles. That's something that most Stoics believe, is that we all have their own struggles, even though they're unique from each other. They can be beautiful, but they happen to be struggles. So there's nothing wrong with that. That just has to be a carnable truth, incarnation truth. So stay still, everyone, because stop motion is on the move. I say that even when it's a video that says nothing to do with claymation, but it's still true that I make claymation. It depends on how I actually go about it, but I still make claymation. I just don't want to say that in every other video, but I still do it because it's a theme for the channel. So I'll try to get into Doctor Doom for Avengers Doomsday. I'll sculpt him, and I'll try to sculpt Chopper, and then maybe Zorro, and then maybe Hatkin Bokid. We'll see. Take care, everyone. I'll cross on everyone. Bye.